Hi, this is Liane with the STAT team. How are you doing? And we're continuing our definitions series, and today we want to talk about the word intersectionality. So, intersectionality was first coined in the 1980s by a social researcher and a civil rights advocate, Kimberly Williams Crenshaw. And what she said was that intersectionality describes the overlapping or intersecting social identities and related systems of oppression, domination, or discrimination. And so that it became significant when we're talking about different social groups, women in particular, we'll talk about women right now, that their social identities can include a lot of different components. So we might be talking about gender, we might talk about race, social class, ethnicity, nationality, sexual orientation, physical disability, mental illness, and physical illness as well. And so that you can see that throughout one's life, your circumstances might also change. And so that different folks might experience different levels of oppression based on their age or abilities or whatever shows up for them throughout different ways in their lives. So, and that could be flexible. And why is this important? It's important because when we're talking about issues like racism, sexism, classism, they don't act independently of one another, so that you have not just these levels of oppression around different forms of isms, but you also might have different forms of impact based on whether or not somebody's social identity also includes includes other components like gender or race or ethnicity. So that intersectionality allows your critique and your lens with which you look at different issues to be greatly expanded and to be more comprehensive. So why does intersectionality matter in the work that we do? When we're thinking about issues like the wage gap, and it's something that's really important that we need to address, usually the conversation comes down to men make a certain amount, women make a certain amount. So for that every dollar that a white man might make, on average, women make 78 cents on that dollar. But the reality of the situation is that Asian women and white women make maybe 90 cents, whereas Latinas and other indigenous women might make anywhere between 50 and 60 cents on that dollar. And so that the disparity that exists in that wage gap is different and it impacts community in many different ways. So when we're talking about 78 cents as the average, it doesn't give a full view of how different communities are being impacted based on their intersecting different social identities. Another way that we can utilize the concepts around intersectionality is to look at the ways in which public policy impacts different communities. And so that when we're talking about women having housing or women and children having certain access to certain housing, when we start looking at women of color, women who are poor, women who have access to different resources, the conversation is going to be different. So we wanted to address this issue of intersectionality because it's a word that's being utilized a lot right now. And there's not maybe a full and robust understanding about all of the complexities that are held within that. And also all of the simplicity that's held within it. So at the end of the day, what we're hoping is that by having a better understanding of intersectionality, we can expand and make our critique more robust, and that we can all get free together. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if you liked this video, share it with your friends. And if you like or want to hear more from us, please like our page. Thank you so much.